Hello, FPL managers. You are welcome to another edition of the FPL Ambassadors show. It's been a while we had FPL. The last time we had FPL, the Queen was alive, and now we're about to have FPL with the King. God bless the King. That's what we're going to talk about nowadays. FPL is just in with us with a blank game week, but these are crucial times that managers had planned to wild card due to some key challenges that are popping up. But then Haaland just reminded us he's Erling Haaland. So we can't do FPL without talking about Haaland nowadays. And it's a very key thing that all managers need to note. Rowland is caught up in some issues. He hasn't got home yet, but he will try and join us before the show ends. So it's going to be more of a very interactive show as much as still Rowland joins us today. So once again, congrats to yourself and Naman. The league code this year for winning last year's FPL. You can subscribe and join the code to be part of it. Now, Roland is not here, but he has given us his key players for this week. This week is going to be a very snappy show. So Pope, the Newcastle defense is doing a very good job, and managers need to note how good Pope is doing, and he's someone managers need to really look at. He's getting the saves points, and so you're getting the Pope of the old Burnley in a Newcastle team, which is very good defensively. Defender with Roland White and Zinchenko. Arsenal are playing Brentford. Brentford are trying to do very well, but they are still conceding goals, and Zinchenko would most likely be involved in some attacking returns there. Midfielder, though there's much talk about Erling Haaland, KDB is also doing their job there, especially in this week whereby Salah is not playing. So managers looking to go away from Salah can go into KDB or find a very good asset. But KDB is somebody who takes in. And let's not forget the last time KDB visited Wolves, it was 4-0. He scored 4 goals. The manager should not forget about that. Oli Watkins is somebody Roland is looking to in his forward line. Southampton are always conceding goals, and Watkins is trying to put his very best performance over there. And differential player Morgan Gibbs White, who is now at Nottingham Forest, is doing a very good job taking set pieces and playing the front three for Forest. And Forest games are getting better and better. And who else to captain than Mitrovic, who has pulled the surprise on managers? Managers really did not consider Mitrovic this season. But Mitrovic has shown us that he's here to stay this season. So these are Roland's key players for this week. Managers are having some challenges with looking at their team. We also show our teams and see what are the key things to be done in this week. So there are blank games. If you are not aware, there are some blank games for Crystal Palace and Brighton, games for Leeds and Manchester United, and then the Chelsea Liverpool game have all been postponed for game week 8. I also go with Pope as my keeper for the week. Very key guy there. Defender Cancelo. If we don't have Cancelo against Wolves, Man City are very likely to keep a clean sheet. We know Diego Costa has come to Wolves and things like that, but Cancelo would most likely also get involved in some attacking returns as well, as we have seen him do quite much recently now. Jared Bowen is not being talked about, but West Ham are now about to pick up their very good fixtures for this season, and that fixtures start with Everton, who don't find any way to keep any clean sheet. And if West Ham are scoring, then Bowen is always involved in one way or the other. Now, forward for me is Mitrovic. I know managers had doubts about him because for the past 2 years we've had him in the EPL and FPL. He has really disappointed us, but he showed that this is the proper Mitrovic. He has grown and is more experienced over there. Differential player James Maddison. Leicester are struggling one way or the other, but they always try to score 1 or 2 goals. And anytime they score goals, Maddison is involved either by scoring or assisting. And Captain Kane, Harry Kane against Leicester, we are expecting him to. He loves playing against Leicester. I think anytime Harry Kane meets Leicester, he tries to do the job against Leicester over there. So these are the key players we are looking forward to for this week. Now, there's a talk about the wildcard, whether to wildcard or not. Now, the reason why wildcard is being spoken about is also because the teams that had very good fixtures are 10. So you realize that West Ham are now getting better fixtures. Leicester, Forest, Bournemouth, and then Newcastle we know are having very good fixtures as well. Fulham, and these are the fixture taker from game week 8 to 16. Palace, we can see, are also getting some very good fixtures here. So there's the time to make the switch, because managers remember that this year at game week 16, just for the World Cup, the first wild card will expire, and we'll have a fresh wild card given to us, which is not necessarily a wild card, but unlimited free transfers during the World Cup break, and then we'll have the second wild card, so more or less like 3 wild cards. So this is a very opportunity, especially as Liverpool. Most managers have Liverpool, they have Chelsea, they have some Leeds players. So is it the time to wild card? Whilst you know that Arsenal are also going to meet Brighton, Brentford, Tottenham, and then Liverpool over there, with the Arsenal blank in game week 12 confirmed with City. So Arsenal and City have a blank in game week 12 because Arsenal's game against PSG was postponed. So now, what does it mean for us as managers? How would a wild card team look like? So a wild card team, as at now, if you're wild carding, you should still have some plan to have. Don't just sell all your assets. Have some plans to keep some very key players in your team. So the wildcard team, looking at this game week, you can move and have players like Saliba or Zinchenko. So any of the Arsenal guys, based on how your budget is in your team value, and then Pope in here, Perisic, Cancelo, Trippier. So these are the 3 main guys. And then if you have budget and funds, you can keep Reece James. Even though Graham Potter has now started a job at Chelsea, Reece James will most likely be more assured in that team. And then a front 3 of Haaland, Mitrovic, and then Ivan Toney. So you can either decide to go with Ivan Toney or Isak of Newcastle. Newcastle's fixtures are very, very good going forward. And then Kevin De Bruyne. Some might want to go with Son, but Son has not started proving his worth there. Zaha would be good to buy and keep on your bench because you're a wild card and you don't know what might happen. They come back in. And then we have Jared Bowen here. So it's either a call between Jared Bowen or James Maddison. But this week you can look at Bowen and then you can make the switch to James Maddison there. And then Gabriel Martinelli. I know he has done a very good job for managers. So even though Arsenal have some difficult fixtures in those games, still he's able to get in those returns there. So that is the wildcard team there. Any concerns? Let us know if there are any concerns about this wildcard team. What players are you looking forward to have in your wildcard team, or what players do you think are missing, or what players are you not ready to sacrifice? So managers who are not wildcarding can look at getting some of these key players also into their team there. So now this is Rowland's team over there. I can't give a very good call on what Rowland is going to do, but I know Rowland now has how do you call this guy? Oh, Fabian Schär of Newcastle. So he has some players in there. Let me use my team. My team will help very well. So this is my team. Now, what do you advise that I do as an FPL manager going into this game week? Now, I'm looking at Salah going and then getting De Bruyne and maybe James or Arnold going and then getting Perisic. So I'll have to do a -4. Or I'll have to try and find a way of doing the transfer in the middle portion here, whereby I'll have Anthony go and then Gross go, and then maybe I can get Martinelli and then either Maddison or Bowen, depending on how the fans will go over there. So it's a tough call. So what you have to do as a manager, if you are playing this week, what you have to do is look at your team, look at the players that are blank, and then target just the fixtures. You can do a -4, try and have at least 9 players to play, is enough. It's not by force you wildcard. If you are not planning a wildcard, then you can keep your transfers and then make just some smart moves to gain advantage over there. So Rowland, so in Rowland's team, Gross is not playing. So Gross is not playing. Rowland has been stubborn. He hasn't gotten Haaland. I don't know whether he will try and get Haaland this week, but I'm sure with Kane facing Leicester, he won't go. So Arnold, Salah, and then James and then Luis Diaz. Rowland will surely have to make some very key decisions. But the good thing for him is that Andreas is playing, and then Nico Williams are all playing, and then Acha. So he will have to make some very key transfers to help him over there. Now, so this is how the game week is looking like. Now, any concerns about your captaincy? Who do you think is the best captain for this week? I think looking on paper, Erling Haaland has proven that he's the paper captain now. So if you are having any doubt, just captain Erling Haaland. But aside captain Erling Haaland, Mitrovic can be a very differential captain. Spot on managers might not look at him, but Mitrovic against Nottingham Forest are conceding goals there, even though Henderson is trying to get in some penalty saves and things over there. And then Harry Kane is also a very good captain shout over there. So Haaland, Harry Kane, and then Mitrovic. Those are my 3 calls on captaincy. If you really want to do a transfer, you can look at captaining this place. And then if you hadn't planned a wildcard, you can use one of your free hits. Just that normally the free hit is reserved for very, very serious blank game week. So you can consider looking at the free because it will give you back your original team, having the Salahs and the others when the Chelsea guys come back into the into play after the international break in game week 9. So what you have to do as a manager is look at your team, observe your team very well, and then make the call whether you think that you should wildcard. If you can get 9 players, at least 9 players in a -4, that's okay. But if you think that your team is looking very bad and you need to wildcard, you can wildcard and then even attack some of the fixtures. But when you are wildcarding, don't sell all your players because they are having blanks. At least try and have a plan to keep 2 very key players who are blanking, like the Chelsea and then the Liverpool or Palace guys, so that when they return, they can come back into your team in game week 9. Okay, it looks like Rowland was not able to join us, but thanks once again for having the time with us. This was a very snappy one because we want to make sure that everyone gets the key info they need to be able to navigate this blank game week 8, surprisingly. So all the best to us managers, FPL Ambassadors, by myself, Rowland, and Marlvin, and our guests to the media only table having guests, but I'm sure we'll interact in the comment section and then we will know how. So all the best managers will meet after the international break, and green arrows to everyone there. Bye everyone. Bye.